Welcome to the Hodges Heroes podcast, where we are making the most of our mess. On today's episode, it's brief, but we think it's humorous.
It's humorous depending on how well you're able to understand it and how well you're able to receive it. But there's a certain level of overly blunt honesty that comes, especially with autism, but sometimes just in general with those on the spectrum. But particularly with autism, there's some things that you get told sometimes that it's one thing if it's coming from like a 3-year-old. It's another thing when it's coming from like a 17 to 19-year-old telling you some of these things. So, Janan, what are some of your top phrases that you have heard him say?
Your breath stinks.
And to be honest, most of the time your breath does stink when he's not really telling you when it's he's not making it up. It's not like an insult that he says. It's more or less like, yes, your breath does stink. It's never like, here's a mint. It's just your breath stinks.
It's very factual. But one thing I've tried to do as his mom over the years is try to explain tact. Like there are ways to say things.
One thing if he says it to us, it's a whole other thing when it says it's like to a random lady at church.
Yeah, but I also don't like it when he says it to me, if I'm being completely honest. Recently, over the holidays, he said to a grandparent, "I need you to stop talking."
As they were like mid-sentence answering a question that he had asked them. It went on just a little bit too long in his world. And he says,
"I need you to stop talking. It makes it hard for me to think." To his defense, it does make it challenging for him to think when other people are talking.
Yeah, active listening is not his strong suit.
No, that one was great. Let's see what else.
If you've ever gotten a phone call from Tyler, when he is done talking, it's over. And typically those phone calls last anywhere from 45 to 72 seconds.
72 is a high number.
Yeah, that's on a good day. But most of the time it's 30 to, we've had family members like in the middle of like major board meetings, get a phone call from Tyler and they'll like, hold on. I gotta get this.
Yeah. And props to them because we have, even some of Tyler's cousins, he's got some older cousins and they'll be like, "I love hearing from Tyler," because
and for some of them, it's the most honest, real conversation they have with a person, especially if they're in sales and everybody's trying to blow smoke at him all day long. Like he will never, he just, "All right, I'm done talking. It's time to go."
Yeah, I got to go back.
He didn't wait for you to say goodbye. He just just hangs up.
Right. And I know they're working on that with him at school as we are at home with, proper etiquette for hanging up a phone call, but you get what you get, right?
And to his defense, most people he called thoroughly appreciate the fact when he's done talking, he just hangs up. And it's just, there's no fluff to it. There's no, "How's your day going?" Like
he does ask that. Like, sometimes. "What have you done today?"
But that's typically like, but a lot of times he'll also call you if he wants to talk to somebody else that you're connected to.
Oof, it's like association. He associates people in groups. And if he has a particular crush on someone that you're related to, he's using you to like see if that person's there.
In case you didn't already know that.
Right. There have been times where I have made dinner and we're sitting down to eat and he goes, "What's that awful smell?" Which that doesn't really make me feel good. But to his defense, sometimes it is really gross and I have to throw it in the trash. What else, Doug?
There's just some randomness that he will, especially out in public, talking about how people annoy him. You're like, "That lady's talking too loud." It's like, the lady that's right next to us in line at Disney is talking too loud. Yes, that's the lady. Like, let's just not talk about that right now, son.
Or very loudly, "I don't like how that lady looks." And again, it might sound offensive, but it's really not. He just doesn't like the way maybe that person's shirt is or what.
More challenging when that person is of a different ethnicity than what we are. Mm-hmm. And he didn't even know what color he is. So it has nothing to do, like he never refers to someone as a particular color. He'll tell you what color their hair is. Right. And so he'll say, like, "I don't like the way that lady looks." And if it happens to be an African-American woman, like it's like, "Oh, dear Lord, we're going to get in a fight." He's not racist. Right. He's just he didn't like the way she looked.
Or maybe she had a stinky face, like expression.
Or looked like one of his teachers that got onto him earlier that day or something like that.
That I will tell you, that is extremely awkward and it's very challenging. Again, it's coming from a 19-year-old adult versus a 7-year-old who's having a meltdown. So there are some things where we have to kind of walk back and unfortunately, sometimes we have to say, "Hey, listen, he's on the spectrum. We're so sorry." What was one the other day where I asked him if he wanted to FaceTime some of his cousins who don't live near us, and he said, "Well, I want to FaceTime her," and he wanted to FaceTime her husband, who is our nephew by marriage. And
Yeah, he's very specific about who he wants to talk to.
he
and
likes his people,
doesn't care who he offends if he doesn't want to talk to you.
right? So you know where
And
you're
speaking
standing.
of not caring about offending, on the regular, I mean, at least once a week, most of the time, 3 to 5 times a week, he will tell us that he wants a new family.
There are fireworks going on outside. Okay.
A lot of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want a new family. I'm going to leave. I'm going to find me a new family.
Yeah.
Like, I wish you'd go somewhere else. Yeah,
Yeah. And honestly, holy cow.
you open the door.
Our door's open. That's why it's so loud. Somebody went outside to look at it. Basically,
He's probably getting ready to tell him to be quiet with your fireworks.
he probably will. This started years ago, and he's like, I just want a new family. I want to go find a new family. And I'm like, okay, well, go ahead. There's the door. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And then he changes his mind. It's like, no, I don't really want a new family. I was just mad at you. So again, when you have someone with special needs, sometimes they just say sometimes what everybody else is thinking, but is too afraid to say.
So there's just a certain level. For the longest time, he pointed with his middle finger. That was a
Oh
lot.
yeah, please don't do
That
don't
was
do
I'm
that.
I'm not going to do it.
Oh my
but
goodness, that's inappropriate.
especially at church, he
He'd be
had
like-
a hard time.
He'd be like, "What's that person's name?" And I'm like, "Put it down, put it
didn't
down. We're
know.
in church." There have also been a few times. This was many years ago when we worked with some college age and single adults, and people would be dating, and so Tyler always associated people in groups. So if one person of this couple walks up to him, he'd be like, "Well, where's so and so? Where's so and so?"
Where's Miss B? You know,
Yeah.
if it was you were Mr. A.
Right.
But then my uncle got divorced, and he asked my dad if if he was going to get a new Aunt Debbie. That cracked me up. Cracked my dad up too, to the point that when he got into the presence of my uncle and asked the question, we're like, let him answer that question. He's the one that got divorced. He can explain that to him.
Yeah, that was very awkward. But same thing. I was kind of like, what is it from the Cosby Show? And Cliff used to be like, I was like,
Out of the mouths of babes.
go ahead,
you know?
Uncle. You can answer that because I don't have a good answer. So those are just some of the things that come out of our child's mouth. And if you have ever been around when it has happened, I'm sorry. We're working on it. We're trying. We really are.
And if you get really offended, then, well, we're probably not friends anyhow. So nonetheless, enjoy the fireworks show in the background, and we will see you next time.
Bye.